Well, the rumors are true.
Creed is back.
Stansbury and I were talking about this on Monday. A little crosstalk in between shows, and he said that there were rumors flying around that Creed was going to be burying their respective hatchets and going back out and doing some stuff. And it's not like rumors just come out of nowhere. Usually they're floated by people who are in the know. And Mark Tremonti and the other guys are always touring in some other incarnation. They're out as Alter Bridge. I got tickets for you about a half an hour, by the way. Alter Bridge, they go out. He's got another band called Tremonti, which I think are like his pre-Creed friends. But Alter Bridge is just the other three guys in Creed without Scott Stapp, and apparently they are going to dip their toe back in the water, and Creed will do their first show in more than a decade on a cruise, on a rock cruise. It's called the Summer of 99 Cruise, and so it's all the bands. You're going to party like it's 1995 all over again. So Creed doing their first show in a long, long time. Last gig they did was December of 2012, and that was a reunion show. They had broken up in 2004, got back together in 2009, and then broke up again in 2012. So the Summer of 99 cruise is mid-April. It'll leave from Miami and go to the Bahamas. And it's going to be Creed, Three Doors Down, Buck Cherry.
Oh, my God. I need to go to this.
Think of a rock band in the 90s, and they're on the bill. Tonic and Fuel, Verve Pipe, Louise Post, who was in Veruca Salt with Nina Gordon, who is married to the guy from Tonic.
It's a mess.
Vertical Horizon.
This is a cruise?
You can have this many bands because they all have one hit. So you go, all right, there's our songs. Now let's go get drunk. So Creed is dipping their toe back in. You know, you don't want to book an arena tour. You want to see how it's going to go. Eddie Trunk is going to be the host, along with Matt Pinfield, who is still
Matt Pinfield.
is still hauling that guy up and posting him places. So yeah, every band that you might want from the mid to late 90s is going to be on this thing, and you might run into the Mary Santora. April 18th through the 22nd on the Norwegian Pearl.
What was that show that Matt Pinfield hosted on USA on Saturday nights?
Up All Night with Rhonda Shear and Gilbert Gottfried?
No, that was... May have been Friday nights.
On USA?
Cash Explosion Double Play.
No.
Hey!
It was always a dream of mine to go on that show as a little kid. That's how...
Cash Explosion?
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to make
I don't know. They keep hauling Matt Pinfield's carcass out and plopping him places. I don't know what he did on USA.
I'll find it.
All right. So if you're a Creed fan, I mean, obviously it's not going to be as cheap as going to a regular show. These cruises are quite expensive. But it's Buck Cherry and Tonic and Fuel and Dishwalla. We're counting blue cars.
More or less than
Farmclub.com.
What was farmclub.com?
It was just like a music show where...
.com on USA?
Yeah. But it was like in the early days of Napster and all that stuff, so they're like, well, we'll call it farmclub.com.
Okay.
And then
this was a while ago.
This is
20 years ago.
Yeah.
So a lot of bands there. 9 Days. Remember 9 Days? Again, these bands all had one hit. This is the story of a girl. That was their one hit. Yep. Dishwalla had Counting Blue Cars. Tantric had a couple.
I just heard that song, the Dishwalla song, the other day, and I was like, I love that song, but I always forget who sings it.
Dishwalla.
Yeah.
Counting Blue Cars.
I always think it's Toad the Wet Sprocket.
That's another. I can't believe they're not on this.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you, this isn't on sale yet?
No. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know. They've announced, I mean, the headline here is the Creed reunion. And so if you're a fan of that band, this is where they're going to do their first show in a decade.
The
Norwegian Pearl.
I can't say that word. Norwegian.
On this cruise.
Matt Pinfield is responsible for signing Coheed and Cambria to A&R, to Columbia Records. He was president of A&R.
Fans can sign up for the pre-sale at the official website beginning now, Mary. The actual pre-sale will happen July 25th through the 27th. The public on-sale will start on July 28th. The first 500 cabins booked will get a photo op with Creed.
Wait, do you really want to go on a cruise?
I hate cruises. I'm terrified. I am terrified of boats.
See, I think one of these rock cruises would be fun. Like there's a heavy metal one called 70,000 Pounds of Metal or something, and that's probably a smellier cruise than some other ones would be. But anyway, maybe you like Creed, but you don't care for Scott Stapp. Well, that's where the Alter Bridge tickets come in. Miles Kennedy fronts that band. And, you know, Scott Stapp, it's not like the guy's been sitting around with his thumb up his ass. He chopped all his hair off. He's got solo albums. He did that song for the Marlins.
Wasn't he on meth for a bit?
I think post-Creed, he was in a real bad place.
Mm-hmm.
But he got married. I think he had a couple of kids.
Where is it going? The Caribbean?
The Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Yeah, Nassau.
Bermuda.
Yeah.
Bahama.
And Marlins Will Soar, you might recall, because Creed was a Florida band, and so they asked Scott Stapp if he would sing the Marlins song, and everybody really dragged him for it.
Let's play ball, it's game day.
It's just that dumb voice, man. Because the lyrics are all just baseball terms, right? Home runs and slide into home. Outfield and hot dogs and beer. This is like right after Creed split for the last time.
We want strikeouts, base hits, double plays.
We want strikeouts, base hits, double play.
We want strikeouts, base hits, double plays. Take the field, hear the roar of the crowd. Come on, Marlins, make us proud. Come on, Marlins, make us proud. Keep hoping and dreaming, and you will soar.
I mean, the guy can sing, but, you know, you're in a bit of a pickle because you are singing about a fish.
You saying you can't write good songs about fishes?
What's your favorite song about a fish?
Oh, for that Free Willy one that Michael Jackson sang.
There you go.
That was a different Willie.
I mean,
he
it's a
was singing
mammal.
about freeing Mary.
Oh, yeah, that
it
is a
wasn't part
mammal.
of the movie.
It was Will.
What was the song? Will he
know.
be there?
Will you be there?
Oh, I was
Oh
like,
my
Will he be
God.
there?
that song is Will he be there? Like Al B. Sure.
That's bold.
Will he
Oh,
be
you know
there?
what mine is? Well, it's not about a fish. It's about fishing.
Yeah.
Nitty Gritty Band. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Fishing in the Dark.
Oh, I
That's a good
believe
one.
that's another sex song, isn't it? It's not about.
No.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish.
This is my
heads,
favorite
fish
from
heads,
Barnes
fish
and Barnes.
heads, eat them up, yum. Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up, yum.
You know Nitty Gritty Dirt Band from your dad, don't you?
I only know that song. Yeah, this is the only one I know. Well, I think. I mean, I might look up their other. I would say this is probably their most popular song.
Yeah.
No, I think Man of Constant Sorrow.
That's not them.
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band?
That is not them.
Was,
You're thinking of the Soggy Bottom Boys. It's a
right, but
fake
they
band.
didn't they sing it for them in the movie?
The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band?
I thought they did.
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't think it was them. Maybe. I don't. That doesn't sound familiar.
Stanley
remember.
Brothers.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know this band at all.
Oh, you never heard of Nitty Gritty?
I mean, I've heard of it, but I thought it was a Soggy Bottom Boys.
Right.
No. Here's where it kicks in, Bill.
Oh yeah, I heard this song.
Yeah, everybody's heard this song.
I remember they covered
I
Mr.
haven't
Bojangles.
heard
That was
this.
all I remember was.
I haven't heard this song. Not everybody's heard this.
Everybody's heard this song.
Never heard of it.
Down by the river in the pale moonlight, we'll be falling in love in the middle of the night, just moving slow.
All right, well there you go.
That's a fish song, kind
That's
of.
a fish song.
That is
I
a
don't
fish
hate
song.
that.
Of course, there's the band Fish. You can just pick any song, but songs about a fish.
Or fishing.
Fishing.
Or comedy bits about fish. I go to Patrice O'Neill.
Uh-huh. What about Get a Good Buzz On? That's about fishing, but it's also about the shanty, right? It's about fishing.
Brad Paisley has a couple songs about fishing.
You get a line, I'll get a pole, baby.
I like this already, baby. Play it, Johnny.
Gonna sit down in the kitchen and fix me something good to eat and make my head a little high, make the whole day complete. 'Cause we're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. I'm
That's
thinking of the
doesn't have anything to do with
Crawdad
fish.
song, right? You get a line, I'll get a pole, baby.
You get a line, I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line, I'll get a pole, babe. You get a line, I'll get a pole.
Leave me down at the fishing
We'll
hole.
go down to the crawdad hole.
Crawdad hole. And we don't play any stuff from the 30s
Are we going to keep doing
anymore.
fish songs, or do you want me to complain more about Oppenheimer?
Kroppenheimer. That is a terrible, terrible fish movie. Let me give you some money here. It's $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. I hope you win. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
You get a line and I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line and I'll get a pole, babe. You get a line and I'll get a pole. We'll go down to the crawdad hole, honey.
Now, these are the Foggy Mountain Boys. Maybe that's who you were thinking of. And, of course, you know, they're singing about fishing, but obviously it's about sex. He's got a pole.
Oh, he wants
She's
to
got a
have
crawdad
sex with the
hole.
fish.
She's got a crawdad hole.
Don't call that.
They're calling it that. Blame the Foggy Mountain Boys, not this guy. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, Creed. Will Creed be the next Metallica? Who knows?
Kanye's a gay fish.
Who's a gay fish?
Kanye is a gay fish,
Did he
according
say
to
that at
South
some
Park.
point?
It was
Oh.
at South Park, of course. Right.
Is that sad that we don't? I had to genuinely ask if that's something Kanye said. It's like he might have come out one day and be like, I don't know, man. I just feel like a gay fish today. I was like, yeah, okay, all right, Kanye, man, whatever you got to do.
Hello, who's this?
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
It's Mike.
Mike, what's up?
Oh, his name must have disappeared.
Yep, I don't see his name. Hi, Mike.
Oh, Mike in Parma, man. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
I just I had a call in about the whole Creed thing, and it's really funny, like, to have Creed come back around. And I just remember years ago, I was never really a big Creed fan, but he came through. I guess Creed came through Cleveland. It was probably the early 2000s, and they had to, like, cancel their show for whatever reason. Like, he had, like, bum voice or something. So what they ended up doing was selling $5 tickets to the concert. And so I bought a couple, and me and my buddy went there. And the songs are okay, but at the same time, Scott Stapp is so full of himself. Like, there was these undertones of this Jesus-y undertones where he would just go up to this top platform and just splay his arms out.
Arms wide open. Nose is wide.
The arms wide open. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy thinks he's Jesus. I'm like,
Well, that's that's what did them in. I wasn't there, but I had friends that went to the show in Chicago that effectively ended Creed. When this would have been like New Year's, it was like a New Year's Eve show or something, literally 20 years ago. And they did the old Rosemont Horizon or whatever it was called at the time. And he was hammered. I mean, he was drunk. He said he was on prescription. And by this time, he was like bloated and they were at the end of the road, man. And he ended the show like 2 songs in and the crowd's booing. Yeah, that stuff did him in, but I think he got his head straight after Creed. And so I think if these guys come back and they can figure things out, they might have a decent run again.
Well, whatever happened with? I mean, there was that whole thing a few years ago where he was like in a
it's out of his
in a
mind.
motel somewhere, like with mental breakdowns and stuff like that. I mean, that wasn't all that long ago.
I think it was farther back than we remember. I think that was probably a good 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, they were never my favorite band. They weren't even in my top 10, but they sold a lot of records. Stansbury called them the original Nickelback, which I thought was kind of funny, but because everybody loved to hate them, but they were selling tens of millions of records. So, but again, they started as a Christian band, and I think that probably messes with your mind to some degree because you're like, oh, every band wants to be that big, but 99% of them aren't. So if you're the one that gets to be that big and you're like, trying to be a cool guy, but holy cow, I really like the chicks and, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Thank you, Mike. But for Creed fans, boy, they must be beside themselves with excitement. Granted, it is a cruise. So you've got to shell out some coin and go to the Bahamas. And you got to sit through all those other bands. So, unless you're going to jump overboard.
Nah, man, boats make me nervous.
Boats make you nervous.
I think I saw Titanic too young. Like, Titanic and Castaway made it very real in my head. I'm like, you could get lost at sea.
I mean, Titanic was very real.
Yeah, but it was like the first one, right? And then I know that Castaway wasn't a boat. It was a plane crash.
Yeah.
But, like, being stranded with nowhere to go. I get very, very uncomfortable.
So you'll never go on a cruise. You're like, I don't want to be in a giant floating hotel full of cholera in the middle of the ocean.
Right. I don't need this days in to set sail.
Yeah, just a regular old Days In fine for us.
Right.
Landlubbing Days In. Let me take a break. I'll have Alter Bridge tickets for you a little bit later on, as promised. That is the other 3 guys in Creed and Miles Kennedy up front. They're on the Pawns and Kings tour. That'll get them to, I think, Jacobs Pavilion is where that show is happening. Yeah, August the 8th, just a couple of weeks away. So we'll do those shortly. I want to text for anything, 35192, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.